be July probably. Then the rest of it would be construction carryover. It's all the projects out there hanging, including two that we're gonna deal with later on in discussion for $880,000, total of $960,000. And what this does is, as you've been aware from the past, is the DOT's version has 4 control items for a budget. The county version has 2. It only has construction and other than construction, and what we do is, with the DOT, is to put those additions into the right slot on the DOT budget. Questions?
Entertain a motion for the amendment of Department of Transportation budget, roadwork budget, this is 2015.
I'll make a motion for the amendment to the 2015 budget for secondary roads.
Motion by Rick, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Harlan, other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Very good. I'll stack these. We'll have plenty of signatures later on in the meeting somewhere. I need signatures from the chair and from the auditor for that. Second order of business is approved 2015 pavement marking quote. I apologize to Mort. I did send more details out to the rest of the board members via email just because they were handy. I forwarded them what Ben had forwarded me, which includes the schedule. But what everybody got was our quote from BTS, which is Vogel Traffic Services, for $14.40 a gallon. And Ben ran a rough estimate based on what we're looking at for striping, that it would be around $38,000 worth of striping. But what we're approving and what I brought to board for approval is the unit cost of $14.40 for the per gallon of the yellow, $14.40 per gallon of white, railroad crossings at $120 apiece, and stop bars at $20. That's in essence what we need to approve at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve those quotes from the ETS.
I'll second.
Motion by Gary, second by Rick, to approve the quote from UTS for line marking, cost per gallon, approved. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Lastly, on agendized items are 2 projects that we would like to bid on June 17th at 10 o'clock. I present them today as to approve the plans and specs and set letting date. The first project is LC 192-380. That's a project just west on the Chatelain Blacktop, right beside the first subdivision on the south side. This project takes an existing drain tile, junction box, outlet, and then a separate surface drain, and combines them as one and replaces it with I believe a 4x4 box culvert with a drop inlet. This box culvert will be positioned much to center on the outlet so as to minimize disturbances with the downstream property owner. We have all of the agreements from the downstream property owner for right-of-way for this project is done. Everything's in order for this project to be let. The second project, however, is up on
Back up, you got 2 other culverts beside this under the road?
On this project, there is just on the south one down west of Chatelain's, there is a drain tile under the road, and then there's a surface pipe across the road. I believe it's either 36 CMP. Let me look here quickly. Surface water is one thing, and the existing 36-inch, there's a 36-inch cast pipe as a drainage tile outlet. There's an existing 48-inch CMP to the west.
Yeah.
Both of them go through a retaining wall that was built when they widened the road. The base of the retaining wall has exceeded its useful life. We have, however, several years ago, rip-wrapped the bottom portion of it, and trying to hold it until such time we could replace it or do something.
You're gonna replace it with this project?
Oh, this is gone. With this project, there will be no need for a retaining wall. We have acquired enough right-of-way to the south side, we'll extend the top to full clear zone, and then have 2-to-1 out, much like every other project we have. The goal here...
The erosion that's happening.
Right, we're trying to move and get, the alignment of this pipe, well, although it be perpendicular for the road, we're moving the alignment to best, shoot it down the outlet into the, natural ravine. So we will be removing a boilerplate outlet, which is the tile outlet. On the north side of that one, it was widened, there's a half a dozen 36-inch concrete pipe to the old inlet. It used to be a drop inlet that was covered, and then they put in the 48-inch CMP clear west to cover the surface water in the ditch, and then the retaining wall. So the three issues here are the 48-inch CMP, the drain tile underneath, and then the retaining wall. We talked about trying to line, we discussed expenses of trying to retro this project and try to salvage what we had, and we're approaching half of the cost is what we think.
What's the estimate on this one again?
I think it was 100 or 110,000 that was programmed for, and I don't know what it's... This would be current year, so we don't amend for Jerry.
Yeah, that's right.
It'd be on current year, so that's why you don't see on your budget amendment. One's 110 and one's 120. I think this one was programmed for 110 with 100,000 of secondary roads, so it'd be 100,000 contract, 10,000 of day labor, and I believe the other project's 120.
Yeah, that sounds right, because this one we looked at refurbishing, it was getting close to 60,000.
It's getting close to 50, or over 50,000, trying to do it, to keep it and hold its own. Both of the projects, this project would be, a late start date of September 21st, and, the other one, I believe, we moved up so that someone could, the other one is, August 24th. August 24th, late start date for the one up on the blacktop, or excuse me, the white top, because you'll notice we have pavement replacement on that, and we don't have pavement replacement on the asphalt.
For a while.
That's right.
So, I got a question now. The pipe we're putting through, is that gonna be large enough for any future tiling that's done on the north side of that road?
We got 6x6 junction box that we're putting in, so we'll have now, somebody can dig and hook into that if they want to. Right now, you can see in the schematics, that we've had knockouts to try to hook in those existings, and those existing tiles will be into the box, not into the drop inlet. So...
Oh, okay, I see.
They're far enough into, the original tile was clear up tight to the road, they're actually somewhere just under the north shoulder.
Right, probably, okay.
And we're just tying them into where they're at.
That's where the circles are going into the box.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna put cast, I believe, we have 12-inch RCPs that we're gonna cast into the box, and so we have 8 foot sticking in, and then we can tie anything to them from there.
Okay.
It's part of the, cost of the lump sum cost of the junction box. Junction box, we have spec'd as either one piece or two piece. If somebody's gonna move in with a crane, one piece will just set it in. If, somebody does not wanna bring a crane in, they can have the contractor can fab it in 2 pieces. We've not used one of these exactly, and, this will be, we have several instances of what we may see in the future of a project like this.
What's the late start on this one? August, it was before 24?
This one was a little later than the other one. This one's 9/21/2015, and the other one we're moving to August 24th, 2015. I think there's about a 3-week spread there. Someone could take them both if they wanted to.
All right.
They would be, I would propose that we'd let them separately. Now, if I may move to the other project. This project is a conglomeration of things at the intersection of Juniper and 170th or C26. There's several things that will be changed on this. This is just a 6x4, 6 tall box going under the surface water, but with that, we have to put a new squash pipe in to the south of it on the road, on Juniper, to get the water from the west to the east, so it can round the corner and come into the head of the drainage district ditch there. We will be widening the ditch, the drainage ditch to the north, so that it matches the rest of the ditch as constructed along that road. When originally constructed, they brought the ditch in right up next tight to the road, which led, when the county widened the road and put shoulders on, there's a retaining wall also there, a timber retaining wall at that corner, all of which would be gone with this project. This project has right-of-way from the north side with accepted offer. However, we have no accepted offer for the south side. To make this, to construct this and to do the improvement with clear zones as required, we need a strip 15 by 70 feet, and we have not had an approval, yes, from the owners yet, but we have not had a no.
Okay.
We're still working on that. Initially, it was discussions with the tenant and the farm manager, and now the farm manager is going to the owners with it, out-of-state owners. And I don't know, it's not a definite yes. But the point, we got options if we do not get the right-of-way, is to do it anyway, go through condemnation. We've done the served notice and whatever already.
Which one do we have right-of-way from? I see the
South side, we have, north side, we have the right-of-way.
Which is?
Ellen Peterson.
Ellen Peterson.
Is that, I see these LLCs here.
John Norman, Shelby Farm.
It's Shelby Farms that we're still, they're out of state. We talked to the farm manager this morning, he has not heard from them yet.
All right.
But, the negotiation locally was with the tenant and the farm manager.
What township that is?
Rutland.
3, 4.
But again, our options are to proceed, to table, proceed with, and if we don't get, or if we don't get an agreement, then we have, proceed with condemnation, or we, table it, scrap it, whatever. But we needed to get these plans up and get them, in the hopper if we were gonna consider it all,
How many years ago didn't we put in a box?
construction.
Board under the road. They put board under the road. New intake there at one time.
There's a couple, they put a new line in there. The diagonal line is your new drainage district pipe that sets, the diagonal pipe, if you're looking at the plan, the far east one is part of the drainage district pipe that replaced a whole bunch of, ag drainage wells that went clear down to the cob pile or whatever. The other one is at the 408-44, that was, installed probably about 2000. The year 2000, that was a private tile installed. We added to its outlet since then and put rock, because it was undercutting the wall.
Cutting it out.
We added, some of the 30-inch to it.
A lot of water gets into that ditch.
Right, and you can see the way the ditch pulls over tight to the road. We're shifting, the road, or shifting the ditch back to the north, thus the construction from, the Petersons on the north side. We're not sure in what form, that needs to be, because what we're trying to do is ensure you still have your drainage ditch easement. So, we have an easement, whatever form, it's either roadway or drainage.
Okay.
And we'll cross that with the legal documents to follow, but, it's unusual, or not necessarily unusual, the road right-of-way is 75 feet right there, which gets us partway up the bank, but doesn't get to you to the top of the bank. anyway.
One place put a fence,
Anyway, both projects, are, not just straightforward, they're run-of-the-mills. Both of them are multiple needs, multiple different things going on at the same time. Both local projects, and, we're proposing a letting June 17th.
at what time, 9 o'clock?
Believe we got, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock a.m., and we did check, the time is open here. I checked with one board member to make sure that 3 board members weren't in Bora Bora. I think it works here. It can be changed, but that's what we've put on them so far.
I'll make a motion to June 17th.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the plans and specs for box culvert replacement on 250th Street and on 170th Street, and set the date for June 17th from time at 10 a.m.
Will that be out to your office? or here?
No, that's here.
Right here. Okay, you have a motion and a second. You have a motion, you have a second. To approve the plan and inspection of the...
I'll second.
Have a second? Other discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
question.
sorry.
This is just an observation on that road. In this location, for years, there's been a dip and a bump there, and then 2 years ago, they resurfaced it and did an excellent job of smoothing it up. And now this is gonna be torn up again, perhaps looking forward on these things, tied 2 of them together, so you did a nice job of resurfacing, and now it's gonna be bumpy again for another 20 years. Just an observation.
And I can answer that. We had her on the list, and it was in the short list on what should be moved in the system in the 5-year plan, and we tried to consider doing it before paving, which we've done some of these before paving, and this one was one we didn't, because we had other local systems, or local projects that we put ahead of this to knock it back behind paving, and unfortunately, we are following the paving, and we're doing the same thing up on Bradgate too, on this white topping. The white topping's holding up well there, and unfortunately, we're gonna saw cut her and put her back. We try to avoid it, we try to anticipate our paving, look at the cross pipes and boxes and any projects that may be in the near future and move them, just like we, adjusted the one north of Hardy. We moved that, we advanced that, and we're trying to put that in the year before we pave whatever form it will be up at Hardy. Unfortunately, we didn't have the dollars on the local side to, advance that ahead of time here. It's been, this project, on the C-26, on the Chatlin Road has been, on the horizon for a while, and it's, it should've been earlier.
Yes, Bob?
The other question I was gonna ask on that is, I see September 21st, that's kinda close to
Getting
harvest.
close.
Will that be affected down there for, I mean, how long would that take if they did? I mean, you talking 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
What are the working days? I just handed it to, we did add, had an active discussion for how many working days we got there, Mr. Press. I believe we got, on the 1923, the one up, further north, is 20 working days on that, and to start 9/21. Well, that's the
one down south.
That's the one down south.
You're gonna go to the...
20 days, and the other one's 25, I think there's a few more days on that, because it's of, pavement. This other one won't be pavement, we're, putting macadam and choking it, to let it go through, plan through winter. And then maybe once we do it once, it might last, instead of redoing it 3 years from now, and then another 3. We may consider full depth concrete on the thing. I don't know. Some of it, normally, he's right, we put any of these in, and it's, can be fairly smooth for about 2 to 3 years, and then we got settlement again, and we mill and do. One of them south of Odison, we did 3 times so far now for probably nearly $40-some thousand to try to smooth it up.
Can we get that date moved up on the Chatlin one, just to get it further away from harvest? 'Cause that is
We put it as late as we can to get the contractor in there and done this fall. I mean, they may do it early, yeah, I mean, we put it early, then we might minimize what we get for bids. I mean, it's a shell game, is if we wanna make a tight construction schedule,
Then you pay more.
we can pay more. And what we're trying to do is put them both back as far as we can and allow the contractors, if they wanna bid, try to get both of them to bid aggressively, they can minimize their mobilization, yet we didn't tie them. If we tied them, we could play with the dates, maybe.
We might have a little room if somebody bids them both, or two different ones bid separate ones, we can see what they're thinking. And harvest is a tough one to get around. There's usually something going on either way. The good news here is, to the west and north, the gravel road around is unrestricted anyway, to go north. If they're wanting to go east and south, that's a different matter. You gotta go west and south. You gotta go over to where our twin box is.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this plans and specs and set the bidding date as June 17th at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. Other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I know you've been here pressed long, I missed one agenda item, a 12-tire, packer that we wanted to consider with BV County. Our total to us would be $17,080.80. I'm going to formalize that, next week. I wanted to formalize it this week. I missed it. If there is a great negative on that, I wanna hear about it soon. And see why. That would put us, at $8 over $100,000 for this fiscal year's equipment, which we budgeted $100,000, so.
I think we all got the information on that, sharing the bid.
We did it
County.
a week ago, and I blew it. BB, we got a quote, this is coming from the Canucks, from Canada, and it's, we can split the shipping if we order two of them at the same
You
time.
sent it out on email.
Yeah, but I don't get that.
Yeah, you did good.
Finally, we did have a late addition, from Dino's for dust control. I doubt if they'll do it this week. It's for Lone Tree. It's one of, to tag with the other two that we've approved, that I'll get to you next week. If it becomes a pressing issue, I'll review it this week.
Very good. Paul, I had a call from somebody wanting to drive out Indian Mountain Cemetery, and I sent him to you.
Yes.
Evidently, the cemetery's bought some more land.
Yep, Dave reviewed it, I wondered if he was here this morning. So far, it's something that it doesn't meet our policies, but this clearly is one for you to, review and approve.
He comes out here.
Yeah, he did, they reviewed, they looked at what they wanna do, they wanna get another driveway into a cemetery.
They're gonna bring it to us.
Okay.
We'll get it worked out.
Other item, if I may, I did get a call at 7 o'clock on Friday night, with, excited people on drag strip because a 199,000-pound road went by.
Machine?
Yeah, machine. They're not supposed to be on it, they weren't permitted to be on it, and they just, decided they're gonna drive down, the road to unload. They were supposed to be going to Penn and Highway 3, and they went all the way to Quebec, back to 10th, and drove all the way down through with both of them. And so they were roughly 120,000 over legal. Start doing the math as to how much that would have cost them. But, we're trying to watch and minimize exposure to the seal coat, on